Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Happy Birthday Felicity. Chapter 4, Drum Beats. After lessons, Felicity and Elizabeth said good day to Miss Manderley and followed sulky Annabelle outside. Elizabeth had invited Felicity to spend the afternoon at her house. Mrs. Cole, Elizabeth and Annabelle's mother, greeted them at the door in a flood of confusion. Girls, she said, do be quiet. Your father has some very important visitors, British military men, officers. Officers, said Annabelle, perking up. Shall I play and sing for them? She patted her hair and fluffed her petticoats. Oh, dear me, no, exclaimed Mrs. Cole. No, you must be quiet as mice. Go to your rooms. Or better yet, go out to the garden, won't you? Exclaimed Annabelle. She swept up the stairs to her bedchamber in a huff. Felicity and Elizabeth happily went outside and sat under a bench in the leafy arbor. Felicity played the tune Miss Manderley had taught her. The car sounded even lovelier outside in the spring air. Elizabeth hummed along. After a while, she wandered about the garden picking flowers. Felicity played on and on. What a pleasure it was to play the guitar. Lissy, Elizabeth called, do come here and tell me the names of these flowers. They are such a pretty pink. Felicity leaned the guitar outside the bench. She skipped over to join Elizabeth and looked at the flowers. Those flowers are called Sweet William, Felicity said, but somehow they do not quite remind me of my brother William. They're so pink and proper, and he's usually so muddy. Elizabeth laughed. Well, let's pick some, she said, kneeling down. We use the blossoms to make a flower necklace for our posy and pom-poms in our hair. Oh, that is a fine idea, agreed Felicity, joining her. The two picked small handfuls of Sweet William. Then Felicity asked, do you have any violets that would look lovely in your hair? I think there are violets growing in front of the house, said Elizabeth. Let's go look, said Felicity. She and Elizabeth walked around the gardens in front of the house. Suddenly, Felicity heard a low rumble of drums. Listen, she said, do you hear the drums? The militia must be mustering on the green. What does mustering mean? Asked Elizabeth. Mustering is when the men of the militia get together and practice marching and shooting and following orders, explained Felicity. Come, let's go watch. I don't think I want to, said Elizabeth. Let's go see Posy. We'll see Posy after the muster, said Felicity impatiently. She grabbed Elizabeth's hand and pulled out the front gate along the street and across Market Square to the green next to the magazine. A large crowd had gathered to watch the men muster. Felicity and Elizabeth wove their way through the crowd until they found Ben. Ben grinned when he saw Felicity. I know you'd come when you heard the drum, she said. He pointed to the drummers. Look, there's Isaac. Felicity saw Isaac with his drum. Just then the fife players began to pipe a harp, lively tune. Isaac and the other drummers beat upon their drums. The men shouldered their guns and marched down the roads behind the drummers. Little boys ran alongside, shouting with excitement. The men marched smartly across the green in step with the drum beat, their guns glinting in the sun. Felicity felt the drum beats thunk in her stomach. The fife music gave her bumps on her arms, and when the men stopped in tune and fired their guns in the air, Felicity's heart jumped. Oh, exclaimed Elizabeth beside her, let's go home. Felicity turned to her in surprise. But it's so exciting, she said. Elizabeth looked miserable. I think it's scary, she said. I'm going. Goodbye. She ran off before Felicity could say another word. Felicity soon forgot everything as she stood next to Ben, watching and listening. She tried to name the drum beats Isaac and the other drummers were playing. She counted the rows of men and studied the horses the officers rode. She sniffed the air. It was heavy with smoke and dust and the burnt tang of gunpowder. Felicity felt proud of the militiamen. They look fine, don't they, Ben? She said. I know the men in the colonist militia are just citizens, not paid soldiers like the king's soldiers. They do look fine today. Ben was so intent watching the muster that Felicity thought he did not hear her. His arms were folded across his chest and his eyes were wide. Then he nodded. The militia has been practicing often since March, he said. Militias in every county in Virginia have been practicing more. We have to defend ourselves. In a fight against the king's soldiers, said Felicity. Aye, said Ben. Suddenly she took Felicity. Suddenly she realized why Elizabeth had been frightened. These men were not practicing just to make excitement. They were practicing to get ready and fight and die if they had to. And whom they'd have to fight against. They would have to fight against soldiers, real soldiers, British soldiers, the best soldiers in the world. These men might die because they did not want to be ruled by the King of England anymore. They were ready to give their lives to be independent. Then the argument against the king would no longer be about drinking tea or not drinking tea. It would be a matter of life and death. Felicity shivered. This time it was not a shiver of excitement. It was dread. Clouds covered the sun. As the muster was dismissed, a soft rain began to fall like a chilly veil. Felicity and Ben walked home quietly. I wish more than anything I would join the militia like Isaac, said Ben. I'd give anything to be able to fight. His voice was full of longing. Felicity looked over at him. You cannot join the militia, Ben. She said, you are an apprentice. Apprentices are not allowed to join. 'Tis in your agreement with father, is it not? Aye, said Ben in a low voice. I cannot join the militia as long as I am an apprentice, but... Ben, Felicity sharply, you wouldn't break your agreement with father. He trusts you. You would never run away, would you? You couldn't. Ben looked at her and said nothing. Felicity burst out, you're our friend, Ben. You're a part of our family. It wouldn't be honorable to run away. Ben gave Felicity a sad grin. I won't do anything while your grandfather is here, he said. Your grandfather would be furious. Aye, said Felicity. Grandfather has strict ideas. Suddenly Felicity stopped back still. Oh no, she cried. Grandfather, the guitar. Oh, Ben, I forgot. I left the guitar at Elizabeth's house. Felicity grabbed her arms with both hands, spoke quickly. I must run to the coals and gather the guitar. If Mother and Father are home, tell them I'm on my way. But don't tell them about the guitar. They will be angry. Aye, said Ben. Run fast. Felicity took off as fast as her feet could go. Her heart pounded as she ran outside the drizzle. If only she could see the guitar back before Mother and Grandfather returned. Oh, how she wished she had not been so thoughtless. Felicity was a fast runner. In a few minutes she reached the Coles house. She ran back to the garden, hurried toward the arbor where she had left the guitar. Ah, she panted with relief. There was propped against the bench just where she had left it. But when Felicity had reached the guitar, she saw someone coming. It was Mr. Cole and a British officer. Felicity did not want them to see her, so she ducked behind a bush. She hugged the guitar to her chest. The British officer was speaking in a serious voice. The governor's Marines are about 5 miles away at Burwell's Landing on the James River, said the officer. They'll come very late tonight and take the gunpowder out of the magazine. Felicity went on. She could not believe her ears. The officer went on. Governor Dunmore will tell the people of Williamsburg they heard a rumor of a slave uprising. He'll say the gunpowder was removed for the colonists' own protection. Mr. Cole spoke up. The governor will know that's a lie. The people will know that's a lie. They know that the governor has stolen their gunpowder. He said, everyone knows that the gunpowder is afraid the colonists would use gunpowder to fight against him and our British soldiers. 'Tis sad indeed when the governor must stoop so low. Tis sad indeed when the government must stoop to such low deeds as lying and stealing. The officer sounded angry. I beg your pardon, sir, he said. Aye, said Mr. Cole. We must all beg pardon for what the governor is about to do. They will destroy any last shred of trust the colonists have in him. I am loyal to the king, but I am very sorry to be involved in such deeds, he said. Very well, he said to the officer. You may go. I have received your report. The two men walked away, but Felicity did not move. The British officer's words echoed in her head. The Marines are going to take the gunpowder tonight. She had to tell someone. They must be stopped. What on earth is she going to do? What could she possibly do? Felicity ran home, holding the guard close to her. She was full of fear and confusion. When Felicity stepped into the house, her heart sank. Mother, father, and grandpa all sat in the parlor. Felicity put the guitar behind her back. Mrs. Merrick looked up and smiled. "There you are, Lizzie," she said. "Were you playing with Posy?" She stopped, then the smile faded from her face. "Felicity, what's the matter? You look fright. And what do you have behind your back?" Mrs. Merriman came to Felicity. "Why, it's the guitar," she said. She took it away. "And just look at it. The ribbon is torn through. The guitar is wet. Felicity, what have you done?" Felicity could not meet her mother's eyes. "I'm sorry, I truly am. I meant no harm. I just wanted Mrs. Merriman literally to tune it, and I wanted Annabelle to see it." "You took the guitar?" asked Mother. "But you were most clearly told not to take it out of the house, and how to get so wet." "Well, it was a mistake," said Felicity. "I was playing it at Elizabeth's house, and then we went to the muster, and I forgot it." Felicity hung her head. She never felt so ashamed in her life. Mrs. Merriman looked angry and sad at the same time. She handed the guitar back to Felicity. "Show your grandfather what you have done. You must ask him to forgive you," she said. Felicity slowly carried the guitar to Grandfather. Her eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry, Grandfather," she said. "Please forgive me. I'm so sorry." Grandfather took the guitar and touched the bedraggled ribbon. He frowned. "I was wrong to bring the guitar here," he said. "I now see that you are too young to be trusted with something so valuable." "Go to bed, Felicity," said Father, "and think about what you've done." Felicity started to go. She wanted to run from the room, run from the house, and never face any of them ever again. But she made herself stop around. "Father," she said, "please listen to me." Mr. Merriman nodded. "What is it?" he asked. Felicity took a deep breath. "When I went to the Cole's house to fetch the guitar just now, I heard Mr. Cole talking to a British officer. The officer said..." Mother, father, and grandfather were frowning at her, but Felicity forced herself to go on. "The officer said the British Marines were coming tonight to take the gunpowder out of the magazine, and Mr. Cole said it was stealing, but..." "Stop!" growled Grandfather. His eyes were darkest under clouds. "Stop this wild talk. 'Tis foolish, irresponsible, and shameful. Stop it, I say." He shook his good head in anger. "Felicity, I'm sorely disappointed in you. Sorely." Felicity was rigid with shame. Father sighed. "Felicity, how can you expect us to believe such a tale?" He asked. "You have shown yourself to be dishonest and irresponsible in the matter of the guitar. How can we trust you?" Okay, why would she make that up? "But Father," Felicity said, "I did hear them. I did." Father held up his hand. "Don't disgrace yourself by spreading wild falsehood, especially about such serious matters," he said sternly. "Go now. We have heard enough from you for one evening." And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.